who's rising and shining with me. Boom, baby, boom, rise and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host with the mostest, Mark Saint. Every morning I wake up and I'm blessed to be alive. I roll myself a morning joint, get my mind right, talk about change because that's what we're talking about this morning, changing for change and what I'm willing to risk to get change and to be successful in my life. This is all part of the plan. This is all part of the show. And this morning we're just going to jump into it, shall we? Shall we? Okay, first things first, you are not perfect. And that's what Saints Addiction's brand was all about, is that nobody is perfect. No one has all the answers. No one's doing it right all the time, and all of us are mistake masters. So now we're going to get into it. It's Saints Addiction. Let's get into the show, shall we? Shall we? So when you're waking up in the morning and you're trying to get your mind right, or you're trying to get your attitude right, or make your life right for you, you're going to have to get inside your mind and figure it out. I got loud ass neighbors, but this is just part of it. But one of the things that I was willing to do was to actually change something about myself, and that was my attitude. It's about the only thing that you can really change about any circumstance that you're in, whether you're in jail or in a relationship or shit just ain't working out for you in life. Perspective, being able to change your perspective to a situation will dramatically change the destination of the situation. And that's something that I've been really high key alert on, me and having the same feelings and having the same emotional reactions every time a certain situation would happen. Your boy Saint would be all up in his mind and get overly dramatic or emotional. And it's really hard to say this online because you're just like, fuck, it sucks to say, yeah, I get emotional. Yeah, the woman of my dreams was running off on a motorcycle with somebody else. And I tried to calm down myself. I tried to say, I trust her. It's just a friend. She say it's just a friend. Then you hear the song in your head, oh, he say he's just a friend. And you're just like, fuck, man, it's a wonderful prison and palace that we live in our mind, right? Like that there could be so much wonder and excitement and imagination and things that work for us in our own minds, and then it just turns against us, turns the tide, and it works against us, starts sending us fear and unprobable probable outcomes. And you know what I'm talking about, dude. You know how this shit rolls, right? I think the shit usually rolls downhill, and unfortunately, that's just what it's going to be. But for me, I wanted to change for the better. Like, I mean, a lot of the shit I was doing was like, okay, what if I didn't want to be emotional in that moment? We talk about how to win, not only the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, but not to believe everything that you think is a book now. And it's one of the hardest things to do because your feelings are going to send so many chemicals in your brain that it's going to supersede everything that you ever thought in your life. It's just going to tell you straight to the top, hey, yo, this is what it is. I feel this way. It's going to send you emergency signals, fight or flight responses, freeze and fawn responses. Like, there's so much shit in all of it, in all of our brains and our thoughts and our patterns. And I just was like, you know what? I'm done being angry inside. I'm done trying to convert people in arguments. I'm done trying to bogart my way to the situation, do things that doesn't even want to change. And I'm just like, you know, oh man, I'm doing the morning motivation. Sorry, I'm trying to message everybody here. It's not really gonna let me, is it? There we go. I'm a little bit out of it. No, I'm just doing the morning show, so I'm gonna get my shit together, rise and shine, and understand why I have to change the things that I have to change in my life. Why I'm not 100% all the time, and that I'm not a robot, and I don't have all the answers, and there are answers that escape me, and there's situations that aren't the same for me, and I'm in my mode where I'm just like, this isn't easy for me, right? This isn't easy for me to understand different techniques or different patterns or different flows. It's hard to get off your train track and go to a different station. It's hard to say, hey, I've been doing it this way my whole life. If I feel like somebody rejects me, I'm early to reject them. I don't want to be hurt, so I'll do some self-sabotaging shit. Then I can blame them for leaving me. And it's like, can you blame them for leaving you? Not really after what shit you pull, but it's like I can stop pulling shit. I can stop pulling into my bag of tricks and say, okay, this is the trick I'm going for this time, or this is the way I feel in this time, and all these other things start to play in my mind, right? Like they just start to trick me out. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be tricked anymore. I want to be treated. I want to treat others like I want to be treated, which is a huge golden rule, but one of the hardest things to pull off is to treat others like you want to be treated. And there we are in our lives. We just forget that we think they're not treating us right. So we forget our manners. We forget our minds. We forget the way that we treat ourselves, really, in essence. And once you start treating others really badly, they'll start treating you really badly. It's a pretty simple task. Nobody's gonna lick your face, like they said, like a dog. You trap somebody in the back of what do they say? You put your wife in the back of the car and a dog in the back of the car. One of them's licking your face when you open the trunk. Same thing here, man. In life, only one of us is licking your face after being locked in a trunk or locked in a closet or beaten or intimidated or all these other things that make no sense to all of us, right? In life, like it's tough, bro. It's tough to say, hey, I want change, man. And if nothing else changes, nothing will change. And it's hard for us to face ourselves and face our patterns and say, okay, hey, here's the change that I want in my life. This is what I'm willing to do differently, so this will be different. Most people, they just sit there and wish for different. They're not trying to work for different. They're not willing to do the work. They're not willing to go through the stress. They want everything to just stay awesome. Why go into shadow work when, hey, I can stay in fake happy? And I'm on some real happy has already done his shadow work. Real happy has already looked into the eyes of the devil and seen himself, and also mirrored those images and mirrored their parents and mirrored all these behaviors that you've been doing since you were a kid. You might not even have known it. It was somebody just holding you on their hip and they were just like, here, this is some ice cream. And next thing you know, you're an ice cream addict. Or the one time that they picked you up and dusted you off and you like gentleness. Or how about the time that your dad just didn't say he loved you and then you learned conditional love? There's so many things that slip into our psychology that we don't even know, bro. We don't even know that we're doing it. We're like, oh shit, now my mom's narcissistic, now I'm narcissistic. Or my dad would be passive aggressive, so now I'm passive aggressive. And you see it such in subtle terms. It's not like you're on the playing field and you're just like, oh yeah, right there, there's self-sabotage. No, these are way more subtler than this. This is way more subtler than gaming film. You got to sit there and look at the play and look at your attitude and look at your mood and go, oh shit, man, I'm starting to turn into my mom. I'm starting to turn into my dad. That's my, oh, it's raining a little bit. Oh shit, oh shit. That's what my grandma would do. That's what my dad would do. How did I become so no nonsense? Who was in my life that was so no nonsense? Who was so serious that they couldn't take a joke or give a joke or be lenient in life? Who are these people? These are the questions that you got to ask yourself. And that's what I started to do. I asked myself, well, what am I doing, bro? Like, why do I get so aggressive? What about my anxiety ratchets me up and makes me feel like I'm unsteady? What about it? What about my childhood where my father was an alcoholic and you never knew what kind of mood he was into? So now I'm very observant about mood swings and people not being in the right mood, because I feel if they're not in the right mood, anything could go wrong. Shit, I could go every time my dad was in a bad mood, he could end up in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like life could change life alteringly to me. Like when things were unsteady, like the next thing I know, I found out me and my brother in juvenile hall and going to a different school the next day. Like the next week, I was going to a party. I had this girlfriend. She would write me these love letters. They even smelled good. She put perfume on them, and I never saw her again because my father got arrested hitting somebody at the storage facility. Yep, this really fucking happened. And they took us to juvenile hall in Las Vegas. We went to juvie down there in Henderson. Me and my brother were stuck there for like a week while they tried to come get us, my mom and my stepdad, to come pick us up because we were about to start school in Durango High School. I went from Simi Valley High School to Durango High School in 1 week of my life because of trivial shit moving too fast. Things were being traumatic, and that's what I started to learn. Like, okay, I can't be around drinkers because their moods might swing. These are just subconscious thoughts, right? This isn't like hard rules, hard change. This is just something I subversively came up with in my brain and said, okay, don't date women that drink. That can also trigger you. Don't date psychopaths. That can also trigger you. Watch out for the narcissists. They're always going to get you. And bless up to everybody that's trying to get better at it. So let's do it, shall we? So here we are in real life, in real time, and I have to really change. It's that simple. And that I'm sick of being the same way. That I'm like, after 44 years of being angry, maybe that's not my response rate. Maybe depression isn't it either. Asian, anger, depression, rumination, regret, fear. What else am I letting go of? Impatience, okay? You know what I mean? Like all the things that are my weakness. I'm not exactly known for being a patient person. So by practicing my breathing exercises and giving myself an opportunity to self-regulate, I no longer inhibit that behavior. I no longer find the anxiety to do something and run around. As in my 20s and 30s, I always thought more firepower would fix the topic. And even in Iwo Jima, they flattened that whole fucking island, but they were seeds. They were buried in there. We got to go after the seeds. We got to go what's buried in the ground, find the well, and go after it. Morning motivation. And that's where the change is. It's in the depths of us. It's in something where in that little flip flap, good egg, bad egg, Willy Wonka chocolate factory, the balancing of Osiris from your heart and your brain. In this regulation here, this centered here, I have to look at myself and say, okay, self, what do you want to do with yourself? What things are you willing to change about yourself so you can get different results? And that's when I really started to high key alert. High key that if I wanted something to change, I had to change. I had to change a habit, a pattern, a thought, anything to get different results. And this is a really hard thing to do because we kind of tend to do the same thing over and over again. We almost can't help ourselves. We're compulsive. We keep pulling the slot machine, hoping that the thing's going to win. And the only thing that's going to win is if we walk away from the slot machine, right? How many of us are grabbing below in the ocean? I call it the ocean of doubt and sorrow because we're holding on to an old idea, but the fresh air is up here. The moment that we let go is the first moment that we can rise and get a fresh breath of air and live longer and see the sunshine and not the depths of our despair. But that's where we like to live. We like to live in here. We like to live in this thing and create chaos or create drama or static. We like to just trip out our own system. And I wanted to hack my own system, hacking it with waters fresh in the morning and with fasting and with dieting and with meditating and breathing and relaxing my jaw, from this and all these other things. So no, it's not just me. It's all of us. All of us have this ability to change. It's like flipping a coin or something, that's the change I'm talking about. Can I get some change? Yeah, change. Change your mindset. It's all about mindset. If you're approaching people like I was, still with my aggression, and go, yo, you're on the football field now, son, helmet hit, and tap ass. And then you're just like, no, I'm not on the field with you. I'm in my own world. Everybody's in their own world. They're all living in a stadium with their own team, with their own worries, with their own bills, with their own concerns. And that's what life is about. Now, how they approach those concerns, how they alleviate the pains, how they fix the topic, that's really up to them. Up to you. Lao Tao Kun. And that's what it's all about. You getting inside yourself and going, okay, what am I willing to change? So on my list is patience. I've never been a patient person in my life. Never been a patient person. And it's high time I get some. At almost 44 years old, it's about high time that I started listening to people, actively listening to people, and keying in on what they are actually trying to say to me instead of the way I'm perceiving it. Sometimes when I receive it, I receive it in an emotional state, you know what I mean? And then my response is emotional. And it wasn't critical thinking, it wasn't listening, and it wasn't objectively approaching it. It was personalizing and emotionalizing it and riling myself up. So now we're at team level, we're at game speed, we're at high anxiety, just ratcheting up all the fucking levels of DEFCON 5. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. There doesn't even have to be a DEFCON on it. It could just be an open space. And I said this before, but who has a calm room? You have a bathroom, you have a living room, right? But there's no calm room. There's no room where people can go when they're in disagreement, that there's a safe place for anyone to, at any moment, want to breathe or do yoga or be free from the other person. No one can go in there and continue the argument. There's no kicking in doors. There's no knocking on doors till that person wants to come out of the calm room. When they're calm, when they feel like they can approach you, that would be an ideal room. Most people have a sex room. They don't even have a calm room. They just keep getting more ratcheted up. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be that way. I'm not trying to be the guy that doesn't have self-control or self-discipline or some kind of toolbox, tool shed that I can reach in and say, okay, here's the tool for the job. Here's the thing that's going to make me feel better. Here's the things that are going to fix the topic. And I wasn't fixing the topic with the way I was approaching it. It's just the truth of it. It was making people more fearful of me, making people more fearful of me, making them on edge and putting them on tilt and giving them some amount of anxiety and just ratcheting them up to DEFCON 5 so that they can be an all out of sorts so they can't make any decisions. That's not fair to them. That's like a competitive advantage. And I need to really just process. Sometimes I learned a new way to argue with women too. Instead of getting disrespected and fighting fire with fire, because war is only going to get more war. I'm going to start throwing flowers in the gun, is what I started saying. Just put a flower in the gun and just be like, I'm not arguing with you. What if I did that? What if I chose actually not to argue with someone? What if I said, this isn't worth the argument? We need space, and give it that. I never seen that exhibited in my parents, man. They just went right at each other's faces, man, and just all pot shots, all fucking gut shots, all groin shots, all illegal shots, just doing all the illegal shit. They're dirty fighters. I want to be a clean fighter. I want to be able to take a timeout. I want to be able to take a yellow card, then a red card, pause things, give things a pause, give things a timeout, give things some space, bro. Creating space, especially a safe space where someone feels like they're actually heard, receives them better. I'm watching it happen, and I'm okay. I can hear you without interjecting on you. I can hear what you're saying and not have to defend myself. My ego doesn't have to pop up out of my stomach or out of my mind or out of my soul or wherever it comes from to say, I got to defend myself. I got to defend my ego. I got to defend my character. I got to defend my stance. And this is me changing. You don't have to defend anything. Say what you have to say. It's not a debate. But for me, it always felt like a debate. It's like you had your argument, I had my rebuttal. You get a chance to talk about my rebuttal. I get a chance to counter attack. Everything's a fucking debate class, bro. Now everything is so standardized where you're just like, okay, now he's chewing me out again about not doing the dishes when he came home. He's just gonna be a dick all night long. Da 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 da. I don't know how to approach this, so I'm gonna fight back. Go, you're never home. You're always mean to the children. You're not doing what you said you were going to do. You promised me to take out the trash. Da 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 da. We ride each other. And what I've been learning from the other parts of these books, especially, is the language that you're actually trying to say to each other, the message that you're actually trying to say to someone is that, hey, I'm not feeling heard. I'm also not feeling like you're being a good teammate. I don't feel like you're catching the ball. Bro, I'm throwing it your way. I'm not going to throw it your way for long if you don't catch the ball. It's NFL, not for long if you keep playing that way. But we threaten people. We counterattack. We got missiles and silos ready for that one thing, that one personalized thing that we like to bring up to hurt the other person. When you're hurt, you like to hurt. And when you're healed, you like to heal. And that's just what it is. So I feel healed. I feel like I'm coming to a better place in my life where I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to make things worse than they have to be. I want to live in gratitude and alignment. I don't want to be in aggression and fighting. I got to de-escalate. That's going to be my new task. This thing, I'm going to come up with some notes. I haven't done it yet, but I'm learning strategies to de-escalate, not to be on DEFCON 5 like my parents were and just ratchet shit up and just fucking turn it all the way up, turn it all the way down. How pissed are you? How pissed aren't you? How pissed are you? How pissed aren't you? And just playing with each other's emotions and making things more stressful than they had to be. I don't want to be that guy anymore, bro. I don't want to be the guy that's fucking stressed out. I want to be the guy that's calm. I want to be the guy that notices the sound of the wind through the trees. I want to be able to feel the breeze on my skin and activate myself to wake myself up to life and rise and shine to it. Bring my shine to things instead of my drama or my chaos. Bring my halo and turn that on and see the better in people and see the hurt in them when they're showing me their anger and recognizing it and go, oh, me same too. Me too, me three, bro. Same shirt, different, same shit, different toilet. I bought the shirt and fucking burned it. How many of us have been frustrated? How many of us can see frustration in someone? Last night there were so many people falling on their bikes because of the rain. Yeah, you're human too. You're not ready to have your bike on a downcline and hold the brakes and your food fall off and you also fall off and you're disheveled and you don't know what to do. It's time to help another human. That's what time it is. It's time for us to help each other in frustration. Don't be so gasoline to the fire. I know for sure I'd be the first guy to burn it all fucking down. The bridge, you, fire, gasoline, and that bomb I was sending. I was just all about that and I'm like so aggressive. So ready at arms because you hurt me. I have to protect my silo. It's World War III. I have to have what are these things called? Intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, pointing at all times, ready at the wire. Where's my briefcase? Gotta carry my briefcase. I can't wait to be insulted. And that's something Wayne Dyer was saying. People can't wait to be insulted. They can't wait to take offense. And that's what I was taking on my notes. It's like I don't have to take offense. And I don't have to be in defense. And you know what I mean? I don't even have to fucking play aggressive ball. It could just be your turn to talk. It could be your turn to be understood. It could be your turn to feel better about a certain situation. And that's what I was seeing inside myself. It's like I could see myself going, okay, if I act this way, right, like getting real with myself, I already know if I take offense, they're going to be on offense and then we're on a war. Or what if I just sit there quietly and listen? And not just listen in like a sounding board or just someone that's nodding along and just staring, but somebody that's actively listening. Like, what are they really saying to me? As if I was taking notes in a college class. Like, really, what's happening? Put my side notes in between it, the in-between notes, reading between the lines, things that I wasn't actually seeing. What was the author really trying to say? What was the professor really trying to say? What is my partner really trying to say to me? What is she trying to express to me so that I can get the best out of her and validate it, bro? Stop invalidating people. That was something I would do constantly. Like, come on, pick your emotions. You're just being unrational. Nothing's worse than being pissed off and someone telling you to calm the fuck down. Nothing's worse than being super pissed off and someone's telling you to calm the fuck down and you're not calm. So it's just one of those things that in my life I wanted to find my calm. It wasn't just about someone bringing me peace. It was about me creating peace. And that's just what it's going to have to be, peaceful. And that's what I want it to be. I want to be peaceful in my life. I want to be able to praise the day and praise other people and show them praise, show them love, show them the limelight, show them the light. If that's not what a saint else does, I don't know what else does. You got to show them the light. Show them that you love them and the light is real and that life is real and that there's a better you inside you. It's just not them. You can offer olive branches and ropes and rappel down to them. You don't always have to talk down to people or point out, well, that don't make sense. And yeah, please criticize me on my character. Yeah, please pick me apart and tell me all the things that are wrong about me. That'll help my self-esteem. Like, I don't want to be approached that way, and neither do they. Neither do they. So you're choosing to inflate or deflate people. You're choosing to attack and continue the argument. You're choosing to be defensive and shut down. There's so many ways and approaches that I've used in my life that don't work, and it just was time for a change, bro. I was sick of and nothing else changes. Nothing else is going to change, and it works that way in our minds and in our lives. Even a basic communication, business to personal life, you are always going to have to interact with people, get the best of them, and you don't know what state of the union they're in. You don't know if they're in union, in chaos. Maybe they just lost someone. That shit happens in life. We all gonna have grief or depression or anger or sadness. These things are all gonna reach out to us individually and take it from us, and that fucking shit sucks. So you gotta eye on the prize. You got to see it with your own eyes and be like, okay, what are my options, right? What are my go-to weapons, right? You've all played Modern Warfare 3 and your favorite gun. Have you tried a different gun? Have you tried a different approach? Have you tried to see yourself in a different light? And I'm just asking because this is really changing my life right here. This is some high key alert. Let's smoke some weed. This is high key, real quick. High key, hear me now, feel me now, right? What is a new approach that you can try? I'll wait. Better yet, not try, actually do and perform. Can you perform actively listening? Can you shut your fucking mouth for a second so the person isn't so infuriated and feels understood and listened to? I'll wait. Can you de escalate? Can you validate people and say, you're right, I did do that? That makes them calm down. You know, true. I would feel the same way if that happened to me too, right? That always helps, right? To be able to have that approach with people and be like, okay, yeah, same bitch, same me. My heart beats the same way, you know. What else? What else? What else? What else? It's just a different approach, man. After 44 years on this planet, I started to really see myself. See myself ask questions and then get mad at the answers. Well, I asked the question, right? How you gonna get mad at the answer when you the one asking, Mark? And how you gonna get people all stressed the fuck out and not calm around you? How are they supposed to function like regular human beings with their chickens with their head cut off and they're not processing the game as fast as you, and they're not as limitless as you, and they're not as fierce as you, they're not intrepid as you, they're not you. And being mad at people for not being on the level with you is a narcissistic trait, by the way. Why are my friends so awesome? Aren't you perfect like me? Let's perfect everything around me. Everything's perfect. I'm perfect. They should be perfect. And nothing's perfect. Stop being such a perfectionist. Riding people for the details. Dream in detail. Stop fucking clocking everything everyone's doing. Micromanaging is another way of fucking controlling people and being a narcissist or a manipulator. Like that you don't trust them to handle things. So maybe after you give the husband the blowjob, you mention the trash can then. Connect before you criticize. You know what I'm saying? Get the best out of people. You want the results too. You want them to take out the trash, right? You want to be listened to too. You want to be understood. Who doesn't on this planet? What human being do you know doesn't want to be understood or listened to? I'll wait. And if that's all they want, right, I'll leave you with this too. I forget what they said, who they said. This guy was so charming, right? So charismatic that after he was done talking to you, he made you feel like the expert. He made you feel important. Warren Buffett, you sit down to go have lunch with him, and he asks so many questions about you, you never get to pluck his brain. You're like, where you from? What you doing? Da 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 da. It's like this. Are you reading people like chapters? Are you actually reading their facial expressions and their emotional reactions? Are you actually looking at the change or the money and counting the change? That's what it is. Count your till. See what people are assessing. Assess them. Are they coming with wild energy, or are you coming with that fucking that calm? Are you coming with a bomb? Are you coming with the calm? As simple as that. And that's what it is. So calm over bomb. We don't need to be fucking riling motherfuckers up. We really need to be listening to each other and keen in the moment. keying in on ourselves, if we can center ourselves and say, hey, I see why you're doing what you're doing, and let's try a new approach today. That's the simple thing that I'm reaching people out with this morning marijuana motivation, is to motivate people to have the audacity for a new approach and to get the best results out of people, and fuck the old stuff, man. If it didn't work, out with the old, in with the new. Here comes the change. Embrace and drive change. It's going to impact your life. I'm getting better results immediately already from it. Not lying. That's on the motivation. So if you got anything out of this message, do like, share, and subscribe below. Don't forget to peace and love. And as always, Chi-Gatan, that means goodbye but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, subscribe, and comment below. That's what I'm going to see you. See you on the other side of your change. See you on the other side of fear. See you on the other side of the planet. Peace, love, belo, beijos, enjoy.